Hey everybody, what's up? God is good all the time God is good. God is the greatest all the time God is the greatest. He's just the best. And I'm so grateful, I'm so thankful to him that he has allowed me to see this beautiful day which he has made. I'm rejoicing. Even in spite of the fact that it is raining and a lot of persons have been devastated by the rain. The debris that is on the road, the flooding that is on the road, the cars that have been washing away, the housing, that have been maybe totally devastated. I haven't gotten all the information of some of the locations, but I've seen videos and I've seen footage of all of what has happened. And you know, this rain has me thinking that we have to be prepared. We should expect the unexpected. And I'm not saying this devoid of emotion for persons. I would never want anybody to be disenfranchised by the rain. I'd never want somebody's house or their belongings to be devastated or to be damaged, to be washed away. You know, their houses get flooded. Everything just gets wet and dirty, you know, because you can develop a lot of airborne diseases through this thing too. So believe you me, my heart goes out to persons who have been really and badly affected by this rain. In fact, you have persons who they're unable to go to work. Some schools have closed because of the rain. But people, this rain has opened my eyes to some things that we keep forgetting as human beings. We need to be prepared for the unexpected. We need to be prepared for the unexpected, because the thing, and especially when you know, I'm saying this in two folds. I'm saying this in a physical sense of what we're experiencing in the environment, and I'm saying this in terms of your own life. All right? Because we live in a land which is considered the land of wood and water. So it is not, I think what has happened is that we have gotten so used to the sun and the bright light that we forget that it will rain. It can rain at any time. You know, it is that Jamaica is never ever devoid of rain. You may have a series of months where it seems a little dry, but we're not really devoid of rain. We're not devoid of water. You may have locations that may be low and some it's not. So in one area you may have a little drought. In another area they probably would love to experience a slight drought. You know, in areas like Portland, St. Mary and all of that. But what I'm simply saying is, especially when you know the circumstances, it is always important, it is imperative that you become prepared. And juxtaposing that to your own life. Because life is filled with the unexpected. Life is filled with challenges. Life is filled with changes. And if you're not prepared, you can either get sunk into the rivers, into the oceans, or you're going to swim. The wise man built his house upon the rock. The foolish man built his house upon the sand. We heard this in a song as children. You know what I'm saying? But it is a reality. And it is something that can either make us or break us. We need to be prepared. Because change is a must. Change is a must. The unexpected is a must. Sometimes you're talking to somebody today. There's a lady that I know. She attends a church that I attend. And, you know, I'm thinking on how strong and healthy and everything she was, being a part of a lot of the programs held there. A lot of activities that took place, spearheaded by her. And now she's ill. And I'm looking at life to say, today you're here, tomorrow you are gone. But the fact of the matter is that, and I'm saying this to myself as I'm saying this to you, we need to be prepared. We have to be prepared. We can't say, oh Lord, I never expected. We can't be living like this, especially for adults. Especially when you experience, as long as you're living and you realize that life is filled with challenges, life is filled with changes, and life is filled with the unexpected, you need to be prepared. There are some things that you can't. There's nothing that can prepare you for it. In other words, your brain is not going to be open to every single solitary thing, thinking about everything. Something can just suddenly happen that you really and truly and you just didn't really expect. And that's, I can understand, that's a one-off. That's not the general. In some things I'm talking about. You know what I mean? And usually that is in the area of health, Fine, I can understand that. But in the meantime, you should be prepared. Meaning, since it is that no one knows how it is that they're going to pass this earth, because no one can flee this earth without going through death. As morbid as it may sound, as hard as it may sound, it's a reality. All of us are going to be traveling on that particular road, death, you know, unless we're going to be caught up, you know, when Jesus comes. But what I'm simply saying is this: we need to be prepared. So even if it is that you're talking about health, what you need to do is try and eat healthily as best as you're able to, and exercise. Try to be merry, you know, live a balanced life. I'm not saying it's 100% guarantee, but it limits the possibility of you developing, you know, dangerous diseases and illnesses. All right? So you still need to be prepared for that. You need to be prepared. In terms of recession, we don't know when a recession will take place. We don't know when the country will face some serious recession. So you need to be prepared. You need to save. You need to invest wisely. I'm saying this to you as I'm saying it to myself, because it's something that was foreign to me, saving, investing. I thought life was just the merry life meant, oh, you spend and you just go out merrily. Like, no. You do that, but you create that balance. You save and you invest wisely, purposefully, meaningfully. You follow what I'm saying to you? So when I'm seeing all of this rain, we need to be prepared. When it is that you're buying a home, when it is that you're renting somewhere, check the I don't know what you would call it, the environs. Check if it's one of those lowland areas. Check if it is prone to flooding. You know, if the houses, when they leak, it really leaks. You need to check all of these things. These things are important. We forget. We just say, oh, it looks pretty or it looks nice. And we don't check if it is prone to flooding, to leaking, to some devastating you know, things such as hurricane or so. Those are the things that sometimes persons don't check. You know what I'm saying? There are some persons who they are warned not to build their houses, especially against a gully side, because of these natural disasters. And then when the rain comes, you're saying, oh, government to do this. Come on, people. In some areas, I'm simply saying you need to be prepared. In all areas as best as you're able to. And I'm not saying that preparation is going to eliminate the unexpected to surprise you. But you limit the unexpected surprises. Or the effects of the surprises, I should say. You limit it as best as you're able to. Because you realize that life is filled with changes. It is filled with challenges. And it is really filled with the unexpected. You will get up today and you hear something terrible tomorrow. Somebody who was very close to me at one point, suddenly their mother passed. Unexpected. The lady that I told you was suddenly ill, and that's it. And you know, unexpected. Some of the roads that we see totally gone. I was listening to a man, he said, gone, completely gone. We need to be prepared as a people, as a nation. We need to be prepared. I don't know if it is that once we were taught these things, these simple little proverbs, these simple little, you know, nice little rhymes or whatever you want to call it, but they have meaning to them. And as we get older, maybe because life's challenges kind of box us to and fro, and we box along with it instead of standing firm. That when the midst of the storm comes, because our houses were built on solid rock, we weren't shaken really. We really weren't shaken. And I'm talking both in the physical and the non-physical. We need to be prepared. We forget that we need to be prepared always. We need to. Somehow, it may not be every single solitary day you're going to have it on your brain, but as best as you're able to keep in your mind fundamental things, things that are paramount, things that are a must. Just as how death is sure, changes are sure, challenges are sure, unexpected things are sure. Doesn't mean it has to be in the sense of health issues or something like that, but in different areas of your life that can affect you negatively, and depending on how you respond to it, that will be the charter for your life moving forward, unless you decide to make a positive change. I encourage you, I implore you, be prepared, for the unexpected. Be prepared for the challenges and be prepared for the changes, because they're a must. They are a must, and it is something that we have to accept. We can't shy away from it. We can't do anything about it. It doesn't matter if you are rich. It does not matter if you're poor, if you're in between. It doesn't matter where you fall on the chart, on the hierarchy. But we have to be, in order to survive life as best as we're able to until we depart life. Because, all of us are going to depart life in this. When I say on the same road, I'm talking death row. Whether death row or death road. But that 5-letter word is coming to everyone. Because no one can escape life alive. If we could escape life alive, oh Lord. The mayhem that we probably would see, because everybody would probably say to themselves, oh, we can escape life. Even if we commit some act of sin. But I encourage you, I implore you, you have to be prepared for the unexpected. You have to be prepared for the changes. You have to be prepared for the challenges, because they're a must. These things are fundamental. They should be paramount in your lives, to be prepared. We heard these things when we were younger. And it somehow, as I said, life's challenges kind of box it out of our minds. And we just merely exist because all is well. We don't put things in place. I remember I was doing an inspection in one of the particular stations, and my manager was saying to the bed, all can be well now until disaster strikes. So it is important, it is imperative that you put things in place, so that if disaster strikes, you're well armored, fully armored, that when the wiles of the enemy comes, you're able to withstand it. So while we get up every day and we prepare ourselves, just like our jobs, we prepare to go to work every day, we wear work clothes, we do our jobs, and we have to prepare for the unexpected. We have to be prepared in terms of health challenges. So it means that we eat healthily, we exercise, we be careful of the things that we hold on to, like unforgiveness, bitterness, wrath, malice, anger. These things affect your health. So it makes no sense that you're saying that you're going to eat healthily, diet, and exercise, you change your way of living. I consider it way of living, physical way of living, and yet you harbor bitterness, you harbor hatred, and you harbor malice, you harbor jealousy. I remember my pastor preaching once, he says you have the bad jealousy and the good jealousy, because you have to have a little sense of jealousy, if you understand, to kind of keep you focused, but not in a negative way, not in an envious manner. So you can't say you want a healthy lifestyle harboring these things. You could have eat healthy till you die, kingdom code. You could have eat all of the good food, spirulina. You could have eat drink all Cersei. Drink water, diet, barely eat any calories and all of these things. You can still get ill if you harbor these things. And I'm not saying that if you do all the right things that you will not get, but you limit the possibility. You won't find those things in abundance. Somebody, their entire lives, the holistic being is being nourished in the right manner. You generally will not find that person falling ill or falling prey to illnesses. Generally, I'm not saying in every single solitary cases. Just like with life, you will have exceptions to the rules. But you have to put yourself in the know-how, in the right stead, in spite of. You can't just say, oh, you may be the exception to the rule. You can't. No, I'm encouraging you not to do that. So my brothers, my sisters, my friends, I'm encouraging you. I am imploring you to be prepared for the unexpected. To be prepared for the changes. Be prepared for the challenges, because they're coming. Look at this. You understand? You may have had persons who have been following their very they're very in tune in terms of natural disasters and the climate and the temperature and everything that happens, so they will follow it, so they get prepared. You have persons who are prepared, so they don't even feel the remnants or the effects really of the rain and the hurricane. Where they build their houses, that's one. The type of material that they use to build their houses, and where the location of where they're at. So when they go home I mean, unless it is that they're on the road, that is when they probably feel the effects. But if they're at home, they probably can even barely hear the rainfall or the lightning or the thunder. Because of their preparation, they keep that at the forefront of their minds, because they know that life is filled with the unexpected, it's filled with challenges, it's filled with changes. And it is something that we all have to accept. It is not something that we can shy away from, run away from, escape. And while I'm saying this to you, I'm allowing it to resonate in my own being. I'm allowing it to be a part of me, because I know it is a reality. It is not something that is foreign. It is not something that is just, oh, it's aloof or way above my head. It's a part of life. So we need to be, in order to survive life in the best way, or as much as possible, healthily, we need to be prepared. Can you imagine you're going to your exams and you do not study? You're not prepared. When you go in there, you feel like hurricane just passed through the entire place. You have no clue what to do, like a nomad in a nomad's land, because you are completely unprepared. Completely unprepared. Or you knew you had a presentation to do and you didn't write down any pointers, didn't have your PDF files put together nicely, or your Excel or your Word document or whatever it is program you may be using on a chart or PowerPoint, and then they suddenly call on you and ask you to do these presentations or do a presentation, and you have no clue as to what to do. And they get up and say, oh, they made you look like a fool. No, especially if you knew it beforehand. You've got to be prepared. You've got to be prepared. So likewise, let's juxtapose this to the present situation we're facing here in Jamaica with the rains and all of that. You need to be prepared, especially in terms of your housing choices, the location, and the material that you use. Now, I understand that many Jamaicans, they don't even have the wherewithal. They don't have the funds to buy a decent home in a decent area. Let's say it that way. But my dear brothers and my dear sisters, my friends, building your homes on the gully banks, no. No, no, no. You better try to save up some money and see if you can find somewhere to rent in a normal area then. In as best area as much as possible on the gully bank. The foolish man built his house on the sand. That's the only way I can say it for you to understand. I understand how difficult it is financially for many persons. But the foolish man built his house on the sand. Likewise, the foolish man built his house on the gully banks. Because this is a country of land, of wood, and of water. And you can't tell at what point you will have a storm or hurricane or even an earthquake. Because as much as possible, you may have some years where it is not as rainy, but it rains. You may have some years where one section has drought, but one section it's tearing away. You have some consistent areas that rain just falls consistently. It just rains consistently there. Portland, St. Mary, and so on. That side of the world. It will consistently rain. Even when the other areas like Kingston and the Kingston metropolitan areas and so forth may face a little drought every now and again, but not really, because this is a land of wood and water. It's not just a tropical country. Tropical in the sense of sun and water. We're surrounded by the Caribbean Sea. So it just puzzles me that persons seem very shocked when we face all of the rains and the storms. We're prone to these things. So if it's just like somebody if they come from a family who has a history of diabetes or hypertension, and you know that you're prone to it, it's hereditary, then you need to be prepared. It's not a matter that you necessarily will catch the disease, but you do everything to prevent yourselves from catching those illnesses that are springboards to more deadly diseases, although those are deadly diseases, because it's still the number one killer is heart issues. Heart issues, yes. So you need to be prepared, especially with the fact that it's prone to these types of disasters. So likewise with your lives, Because it's filled with changes, it's filled with challenges, and it is filled with the unexpected. You got to be prepared so that you lessen the effects of the surprises that comes. You lessen the effects. You got to be prepared. So if it means that you need to go back to your youthful days and go back to the teachings that you got when you were in prep school and primary school, even high school, you need to, if it means that you need to go back, then go back. Refresh your memory to these things. And don't allow the winds and the waves of life to box your mind and box these things out of your minds. Because when it is boxed out of your minds and you completely forget for the moment, and then when calamity strikes you, dear wonder, you throw your hands up in the air wondering what is happening to you. If it's cursed, you're cursed. It's not cursed. Many times people think it's cursed. Their curse is not cursed. They're just unprepared. Completely unprepared. Completely unprepared. I encourage you in all areas of your lives, and as best as possible, as much as you are able to, prepare yourselves for the unexpected. Prepare yourselves for the changes. Prepare yourselves for the challenges, because they are a must. Build your houses, your physical houses, your spiritual houses, your financial houses, mental, emotional, educational, however you want to look at it. Build all of them on solid rocks. So that when the wiles of the enemy comes, and the enemy means in every way, I'm not talking specifically about the devil. I'm talking about the changes. I'm talking about the challenges and the unexpected things. When the wiles of the enemy comes, you'll be able to withstand against it. You might get a little jerk here and there, but it won't crumble and fall to the ground, because you are prepared for the unexpected, prepared for the changes, prepared for the challenges. So since you know now, so let's go back to Jamaica, that this is a storm-prone, hurricane-prone, and even earthquake-prone country. You now need, moving forward, how to prepare for these things. I'm not saying that you always will get it right, but you need to be prepared as best as you're able to. So that when it comes, it probably barely graze you or no graze you none at all. Because you have some persons who are no way affected by this storm because they built their houses on solid rocks. Their foundation is built on solid rocks. They're careful in the locations in which they're choosing their houses or where to reside. Not going to choose the gully banks. I know some places, some persons can't help it, so to speak, because it's where is available or what is available. But as best as you're able to, try to endeavor to maybe purchase your homes, rent your homes in areas that you know is not so flood prone or not flood prone. And the constant leakages or bad leakages, you know, or breakaway of this earth or breakaway of this. You have to be careful of these things. Certainly not building your places or renting your places on gully banks. I know that things are difficult. I know that things are tough. It may mean that you may have to, say if a friend is able to allow you to stay with them, but you pay them. You pay your rent and you contribute. So, you know, come go the people in the house with you too long and them. Or sit down there like you can't do nothing or like you're baffan. But it's better to do that than go buy a gully bank. I'm saying we have to think outside the box. Whatever happened back then, we can't think this way now in the 21st century. Times changes. Time changes, sorry. So if it means you have to do that, you know, link up with a friend or two and see if you can, you know, rent a section of their place if they have the space. Catch with a relative, but contribute. Don't go there with your two long hands. Or go there go dictate what you want to do or what you don't want to do or what you want to eat from when you don't want to eat and sleep all day long, all night. No. You do that until you're able to do better. I'm just making some suggestions here. That's all I'm simply saying. But I'm encouraging you just for your own safety. And I'm saying this to you as I'm saying it to my very own self. Not because I'm saying it means that I've got it, I have it all together or so. No, I do these things so that I can make sure that I keep myself accountable. And not only use my videos, but listen to other, you know, solid speakers. So that I have that accountability partner. Long distance partner. You know, indirect partner, direct partner. So that I keep myself prepared. Prepared for the unexpected, for the changes and for the challenges. Because they are coming. They are a must. Whether you want to accept them, yes or no, they are coming. They're either coming or they're here, or you're hurdling them to go into another. But it depends on you how you're going to be dealing with it. So once you're prepared, when the wiles of the enemy comes, you can withstand against it. So my dear people, as we move forward in this, because we're basically going into the hurricane season. June to November, they consider the hurricane season. And we're now in the almost the 3rd week of May, thereabout. So we're moving into it. Alright? So even when this trough passes, we're basically getting into the hurricane season. And I found that sincere, maybe it's only me noticing it, that it has been a little rainy than usual. Usually in the January, February, you know, March, and so you don't really find so much rains, but it has been raining almost incessantly, you know, and so we have to be prepared for the unexpected, for these changes and these challenges that are either here, passing, or coming. All right? So my beautiful people, I wish you a safe week. Be very careful on the roads. Be careful if you have to go to work. Be careful if you have to go to school. Wherever you have to go, be very careful. Just drive safely. No matter if it better you reach work safe than not at all. No matter blow the people out of the way. Because sometimes me not telling that the road rage can take me to, you know. But me just ask God for just give me a calm and a peaceful spirit. Because sometimes it get annoying with drivers on the road. Maybe me annoy them too. Who knows? But be very careful. If you have to creep go work to reach safe, creep. You leave out maybe when you're able to. Alright? Because it's better to be safe than to be sorry. It's better to reach than to never reach. Because you're not a cat who have 9 lives. I'm just saying. A cat have not 9 lives. But you know what I'm saying. Alright, my people. So I wish you guys well. And I hope none of you were disenfranchised by the rain, or nothing has devastated your homes or your vehicles, your belongings, surroundings. I really wish you well and a safe week. All right? But I encourage you, I implore you. I'm letting you know it is imperative to do these things. Be prepared. Prepared for the changes, for the challenges, and for the unexpected. All right? So have a wonderful week. Take care, my friends.